Okay.
Good evening and welcome once again, all of you, for the most awaited, the big talk. We will introduce the guest who is going to spend 45 to 50 minutes with all of us. But before that, as the usual ritual, I would like to introduce, for those of the viewers who are here for the first time, as Brahmachari Maheshwara Chaitanya. Mr. Maheshwara Chaitanya has 15 years of experience in teaching in the computer science domain, but had his graduation in commerce and then went on to do his master's in computer application. It is not out of place for me to mention that he is the regional director for the most sought after programming ICPC, International Collegiate for Programming Contest. He is in fact responsible for bringing in so many students across our country in participating into the ICPC. It is again not out of place for me to mention that for his contribution towards 10 years of his tenure into ICPC, Brahmachari Maheshwara Chaitanya was awarded a leadership award for his contribution. So congratulations, Swamiji, for achieving this leadership award, and we also pray that you get such similar awards and motivate our more students to participate in this contest. Now let us start this discussion or deliberation with seeking the blessings of our beloved Chancellor, Mata Amritanandamayi Devi. And now it will be our honor to have Swamiji lighting the lamp of knowledge. So thank you so much, Swamiji, for showering your blessings on all of us. And it's now my pleasure to begin the big talk. There is always a question in our mind as to how long we will be in a similar situation facing the COVID-19. But in my understanding of things, the virus, the coronavirus, will not bid farewell in the next few months or years to come. So it is going to stay with us. And the government is doing its best to see that hardly few people get into this as a positive patient. That's one side of the story, and I would like to ask each of the viewers as to how long the government can keep supporting us. And we need to, at this point of time, it's almost 4 to 5 months now, at this juncture, we need to do something for ourselves to protect this virus attacking us. If anyone has gone through the history of those positive patients, you will observe a true fact that 60 to 70% of those lakhs of people who are now suffering from this particular virus, the 70% of them are obese. They carry extra weight with them. So this is one analysis which I did, and I find out of 100, 65 to 70 are obese. That's number one. Number two, most of us have this tension, pressure, stress, depression, all this leading to your immunity dropping by 30 to 40%. A person with a fear, a person with a stress, a person with a worry, their immunity level comes down by 30%. This is also medically proved. But how do we get immune? Two things. Let's try to take those extra weight from us and put it down. And the moment you put down your extra weight, your tension, your stress, your pressure, your confusion, all will drop. When it drops, your immunity level moves up. That's all. It's a simple exercise, a proved exercise across the world. So today we have Mr. RBS Bir, and it's not again out of place to mention that he is an alumnus from Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. And later on, he did his PGDM, postgraduate diploma in management, from yet another reputed institution, Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. He completed his BTech and his PGDM and joined a paint company. Those time it was called British Paints, now it is called Berger Paints. After serving them for a few years, he joined yet another reputed company, MRF Tires. And from MRF Tires, he moved on to the India's largest selling cement company, ACC. He was there for almost a couple of decades, and then into different positions. He was heading the marketing. He was also responsible for setting up offices across the country. And also he was later on took charge of one of those subsidiary company of ACC, heading the operations. So this is what Mr. RBS Bir. But the purpose of me or Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham is not to talk about his achievements in his career. He's done a wonderful job. You can all maybe get in touch with him later and find out what did he do in his career. But the purpose is, which I explained to you in the beginning, how do you shed that extra weight from yourself and then bringing down your stress so that you get immune to coronavirus. Whether virus is there or not, a stage will come, the virus will fear to approach you. And this is a true story which I would like Mr. Bir to certainly talk to all of us. So Mr. Bir, welcome on behalf of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. And people have not known about Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. In one sentence, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham has all streams of education except for School of Law. So we have Amrita School of Engineering, Amrita School of Arts and Science, Amrita School of Medicine, Amrita School of Dentistry, Amrita School of Pharmacy, Amrita School of Ayurveda, Amrita School of Management, Business Management. So you name anything except for Amrita School of Law, we have everything. That's about Amrita School of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. Secondly, it is again not out of place to mention that Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, across the world, we are the best private university, right? We are the best in India. And the recent announcement by the MHRD, the recent means a couple of weeks back, that Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham has been ranked the 4th best university in India. And I wish on behalf to thank all the well-wishers, the students, the alumni, the faculties, the management. A big thank you for making Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham the 4th best university in our country under the NIRF ranking. That's National Institution for Ranking Framework. Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham is the 4th best university in our country. So, Bir Saab, thank you again for giving us an opportunity, inviting you to talk about how to make our people healthy so that they become wealthy. right? People say health is wealth. So here is an opportunity. You can be healthy and also you can be wealthy. When I say you can be wealthy, that you need not spend money on buying medicines, going to doctor, getting yourself admitted. So all this, today it costs you lakhs and lakhs of rupees. So there is no secret formula. These are all proved formula. And the first question, Birsap, I want to ask you. I believe that you are somewhere around 104 or 105 kilos, 4-5 years back. And I today look at you at somewhere around 73 to 74 kilos. So a drop of close to 30 kilos. When I hear this, or when anybody hears you for the first time, that you drop from 104, 105 kilos to 73 to 74, it's unbelievable. 30 kilos. But it happened. It is true fact, right, Birsap? Can you just explain to the viewers, how did the journey go from 104 to 73, 74 today? Over to you, Birsap. Welcome you once again.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Swamiji and Kuti. I call him Kuti Garu because when we were in Hyderabad, we used to give him respect.
Yeah, I remember that. Kuti Garu. Yeah.
So thank you, Swamiji, for giving me the opportunity of sharing some of my experience, which has benefited me. And I thought, having learned this, benefit, I should share it with many other people because it's very simple. But one has to understand what has to be done. So let me share how did I lose my weight from close to 100 kg. Currently, my weight is around 72 kg. So I have lost a lot of weight. Now, in the last between the age of 40 and 60 years, about 20 years, I kept trying various methods of exercising, going for a walk, and going to the gym, various kinds of diets, cutting diet, and I also ultimately joined one agency and paid them 1.5 lakh rupees to reduce my weight. But they could reduce my weight only up to a certain extent. It only came up to 84 kg. The last 12 kg they could not reduce. So finally, I started doing some research and I came across there is a scientist or a doctor called Dr. Jason Fung. I read about that and I read about his theory and I started practicing that. And after I started practicing that, within 2 months, I reduced my weight. That was in the year 2016. Today, after about 4 years, in the last 4 years, I have never added weight. I may have added, in between if there was a marriage or some function or something. For 2, 3, 4 days, I'm eating, a little bit lavishly, having a drink or whatever. I may have added, 1, 2, 3 kgs. But when I come back, I, carry on my process. And within the next 4 or 5 days, I come back to my, unless I see 71.9, I will not be satisfied. So every week I must see 71.9 once. That is the trick that I will never allow my weight. In between those 7 days, if I eat more or there is a function, there is a family function, I may put on some weight. But then very soon I will explain the process. What is the process? I must touch 71.9. So this briefly has been my journey. Now, Kuti Garu, do you want me to carry on explaining how I did this? Should I carry on?
Before that, I will always put the question to Swamiji to question, or I wouldn't say question you, but to his first question, makes us all alive and lively. So over to you, Swamiji, for your question number 1.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Basically, you are so energetic and looks relaxed to answer the questions and to give a talk on this kind of a very specific topic, focused topic. See, the situation currently is like we are bound to, or we are forced to accept our surroundings and whatever we get, or whatever the situation is, we are bound to accept. So acceptance is something, the attitude of the mind. And naturally what happens is the attitude has to come from the mindset and The mind is fundamentally built with what we eat, or basically with the diet. So I have experienced so many things. A simple example, in case if somebody, or as you said, when we go for a feast or a kind of party, we eat too much and our breathing is affected. The breathing process will naturally affect our mindset also. So what essentially at this point of time, or how does it help one person at this point of time by changing the diet? First question. The second question is something related with that. If we take this opportunity of a lockdown or of opportunity of a situation where we are forced to sit at home, sit in between four walls and work, what effectively or what kind of a decision can we make as a person to change the diet, and what will be the outcome in the current situation?
Okay. Yeah, thank you for asking very good question. So let me start answering this. Now you see my answers will be divided into three parts. One part is what is autophagy. Autophagy, the simple word for autophagy is fasting, but I will explain what happens during the process of autophagy. The second part has to do with weight and weight loss. How does weight loss happen? And what is the disadvantage of carrying extra weight? Because if we carry 20, 30, 40, whatever be the extra weight we have in our body, the extra weight is always in the form of fat. This fat is deposited inside our body on all our organs, our heart, kidney, liver. They're all, this fat is sitting on that. So can you imagine that if you are driving a car which has not been serviced for 3, 4, 5 years, how much dust will collect on all the parts, and how will the car function? So similarly, all these 20, 30 extra kg of fat which is inside our body, it is affecting the functioning. Our organs will not be able to function as effectively as they should. So this the second part is to do with the weight reduction. The third part is to do with the food. What kind of food should we eat? So let me first explain what is autophagy and fasting. You see, autophagy is a Greek word. Auto means self. Phagy means eating. The body is eating itself. So when we are not eating, that means we are fasting. That means we are not consuming any food for a certain length of time. So many people think, what will happen to the body? The body is healing when we are not eating. Like when we are sleeping, the body is healing. Similarly, our body needs rest when we are, the body does not have to digest the food. After, as long as the body is digesting the food, it's working, but it's not getting time to repair the inside parts of the body. So the body needs time for its healing. That is why fasting is necessary. Now, what happens during the process of autophagy? In the process of autophagy, at the cellular level, at the cell level, the proteins or some of the debris or some of the leftovers of the older cells are eaten up because there is no food coming in the body during the fasting period. So all the cells are cleaned up from inside. All the dirt, residue, leftover material, proteins are all cleaned up. So every cell in the body, in a way, has gone through a detox at the cellular level, at the cell level. Normally, when we talk about the detox, it's at the body level. We drink some liquid and all that. So that's at the macro level or at the body level. This is a detox at the cellular level. Each cell has become clean and healthy, and some of the cells which could have become cancerous are also eaten up by the good cells. So that means if you fast once a week for at least 24 hours, the cell which, you don't get cancer just like that. First, some of our healthy cells have to become sick, and then they have to become, weak, and then they start mutating, and then they become cancerous. So before all this process happens, because once in a week we are fasting, so these weak cells will be eaten up, and a cell will never reach a stage where it becomes cancerous. So this is how we prevent cancer. So briefly, I have explained to you the process of autophagy. Let me also tell you what happens during the process of autophagy when we do fasting for a period of 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours. The world record for fasting is 382 days. A human body can live for 382 days without eating food. So during that period, the body is running on the energy coming from the fat. Okay. But normally we don't tell anyone to fast longer than 5 days. Even 5 days is a long period. But I just want to tell you what happens. So, when you start fasting, the first thing that happens is our body goes into a state of ketosis. Ketosis means your body will now start running on fat, and your body does not have to run on the blood glucose, which comes from the food. So that means the fat is giving the energy, and when the fat is giving energy, the fat is becoming less and you are becoming thin. So ketosis and weight loss is the same process. And then our body, after about 24 to 36 hours, our body starts producing growth hormones. The growth hormones is a very rare hormone which is produced by the body. Our body used to make growth hormone up to the age of 16 or 17 when we were growing. But now at the age of 30, 40, 50, 60, we can't get growth hormones. We can't even buy them in the market. So the only way the growth hormones can come into our body is by doing fasting for 24 to 36 hours. Our body naturally produces growth hormones during that period. Now these growth hormones feed our muscles. These growth hormones are because growth hormones are required for growth of the body. So these growth hormones are very good to feed our muscles. They make our body stronger and they feed our muscles. Then after about 36 hours, the body also produces a chemical called serotonin. Serotonin is a very chemical. It's also called a happiness chemical. That means your body starts feeling happy, starts feeling satisfied. So it gives you peace of mind. So serotonin. Third, the body starts making stem cells. Now stem cells are cells which can take any shape. Stem cells are neutral. For example, in any organization, when you have trainees, the trainees can be neutral. You have not assigned them any role. But then after some time, you may put them in HRD, you may put them into production, you may put them into marketing, you may put them into finance. So similarly, stem cells are neutral, cells. But then, if our kidney is damaged, if our bones are damaged, if there is a problem with the liver, they will take the shape of the liver, cells and repair the liver, repair the kidney, or repair whatever. So stem cells is again stem cell treatment in the advanced countries costs 20, 30, 40 lakhs. But here is an opportunity. Our body can produce stem cells. Now, whatever I've told you now, it's all science. In the year 2016, a Japanese scientist called Yoshinori, he got a Nobel Prize on the topic of autophagy. So whatever I'm saying, it's all published literature. You can check on Google. You can check. I can give you names of the authors who have written these books. So this is all based on science. Now, this is something which I want to share, that during the fasting process, these are the advantages that our body is getting. So I have finished with the topic of autophagy. Now I will move to the weight loss. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. Otherwise, I'll move to the topic of weight loss.
Yeah. I think before you go on to that next step, Swamiji, any questions from your side since you heard Mr. Beer explaining quite well regarding the question of yours? Anything else, Swamiji, you need to add to this?
I think the following whatever sir is talking, then we can raise questions.
All right. Okay. But before that, you can continue, sir. You wanted to continue about the weight loss. Let's go ahead with the weight loss.
Now, you see, we have all understood that in the opening remarks, Kuchi Garu, he explained, first of all, anyone who's obese, once a person will become obese, then he will get diabetes, and then he can get heart problems, he can get stroke, he can get, and then if you have diabetes, your, kidneys can fail, and then you can lose your eyesight. And then if, with diabetes, sometimes can also lead to amputation of your limbs, because sometimes the infection becomes so much that you may have to lose your limbs. So where does it start? It starts with obesity, and then diabetes. Now, therefore, it is very important that our body does not have extra fat. So therefore, it's very important to reduce the fat in the body. The fat has come into the body essentially by eating. Most of us eat much more than our body needs. We eat, some people eat 6 times a day, but minimum 3 meals everyone eats: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But there are some people who eat only one meal a day. For example, Sadhguru, he eats only one meal a day. For example, in my case, I eat only 2 meals a day. For the last 4 years, I don't eat 3 meals. I eat only 2 meals a day. On top of that, I do fasting once a week for at least 24 hours. Now, we don't have to do, when we keep on eating extra food, the extra energy which is not used is converted into fat and deposited in the body. So now let's understand how to get rid of this extra fat. You see, when we eat food, the sugar from the body converts into blood sugar and goes to the bloodstream, and the carbohydrates also convert into sugar, goes to the bloodstream. The only difference is sugar converts into blood sugar very fast, whereas carbs takes about 1 or 2 hours longer. Therefore, when you do fasting sugar, they tell you to wait for 2 hours before they can check your blood. Now, when we say carbs, I mean grainy carbs, grains, which means wheat and rice and all the breakfast cereals and maize. These are the ones which are very dangerous, because many people don't even know that these carbs, after digestion, they convert into blood sugar just the way sugar does. Many people don't know that whatever roti and rice we are eating is equal to 20-30 spoons of sugar. Now, many people say that I will not add 1 spoon of sugar in my tea, but they will eat so much of roti and rice, which is equal to 20-30 spoons of sugar. So if you keep on eating so much of carbs, which is roti and rice, obviously you will keep on adding more and more, grams and kilograms to your fat, and you'll keep on becoming more and more obese. So this is how important it is to, cut down your carbs itself, your food. Swamiji asked me some question about food. So the most important part is anyone who's obese, the first thing to do is cut down the grainy carbs, which is roti and chawal. It can even become zero. For example, I never eat any roti and chawal unless there is a party or a function. Otherwise, I never eat any roti and chawal. Why eat roti and chawal? Okay. So the next point is how to get rid of the extra weight. Now, you see, the blood sugar in the body, it has to convert into energy. The blood sugar cannot convert into energy directly. It needs a hormone which is called insulin. This insulin is produced in the body. So depending upon how much food we have eaten, the blood sugar will rise, and then so correspondingly the body will produce insulin, and insulin also will rise, and then the insulin will allow the blood sugar to go into the cell, and your body will get the energy. But in case since we are not eating now, let's say we are fasting, we have fasted for 12 hours already, so all our food is digested. In the next 12 hours when we have not eaten, our body is running on the blood sugar which is already there in our blood. But in the next 12 hours, even the blood sugar will start depleting. So that means in the next 8 hours. So 8 hours plus 8 hours, 16 hours. So after 16 hours, most of the blood sugar in the body is depleted. When the blood sugar is depleted, it means even the insulin level has come very low, because insulin is required only to digest the blood sugar. If the blood sugar has come down, the body will not produce extra insulin. So insulin level will come down. Now, the most important question I would like everyone to know, this insulin level is the doorway. The insulin level has to go below a particular point. Once insulin level goes below a particular point, it's like a switch. It's a switch. It starts the ketosis process. That means now the fat can burn. The fat can burn only as long as insulin level is low. How to bring insulin level low? You have to bring the blood sugar level low. How do you bring the blood sugar level low? You have to cut out food by fasting for a period of at least 16 hours. Okay, that is the starting point of fasting. That you You fast for 16 hours and you eat for 8 hours. You fast for 16 hours, you eat for 8 hours. This is one way of fasting. But the important point is that the ketosis is reached when once the insulin level comes down. So that is why the fasting is required. Now we are talking about fasting was first required for autophagy, which was a very great process which I've already explained to you earlier. But now I'm saying fasting is also required for weight loss, because when you do fasting, then your insulin level will go down and then you will start burning fat. So this is the way by which your weight loss will happen. So one has to if you continue the process of fasting, we have a group of people, we call it AFK Academy. AFK means A stands for autophagy, F stands for fasting, and K stands for ketosis. So AFK Academy means it's a group of people. We discuss this subject, and then accordingly we can practice these principles on our body. So during this, by following this method, if you increase, the fasting period, you can burn more and more of your fat and lose weight. So this is the weight loss process. Increasing the fasting period, you lose weight because your body is running on fasting. So I have finished my second part, which was to do with the weight loss. Yeah.
Beer Saab, it is, you said some 328 days, there's somebody who was fasting for how many days? 300? What was the
382? You can Google and find out the world record for not eating for 382 days.
Oh my God! I mean,
no, but he didn't do this at home. It was done in a hospital environment, so that he was under observation. But the point is, the body fat was sufficient for him not to eat for 382 days.
Yeah. I think it's something to learn from this gentleman who has fasted for 350 above number of days. That's number one. And you advise even to start with, it is okay. You have 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating window. And you also mentioned instead of having 3 meals a day, Sadhguru has only 1 meal a day. I think he has it around 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. or 4 to 5 p.m. in there. I mean, that's in the evening. And you said you have only 2 meals a day. And also said you go once in a while, 24 hours of fasting. And you always control your weight should not exceed maybe 73 kilos. And when you go for a party or when you go out for some festival or functions, you tend to eat some rice, and you eat rice and chapatis only when you are out for some get-togethers and parties. So moment you eat, you come back, you see your weight. If it has gone up by 1 kilo, you reduce it. So that's again, which is called the maintaining your weight between 72 or 73, whichever is your. That is fantastic. I think that is possible, because when you say fasting means, they say, oh my God, how is it possible? So you also mentioned that the fasting is all something to do. I mean, eating is something to do with your mind, right? That mind says you eat this, you eat that, you eat this, you eat that. But if you're able to control your mind and says, look, I will not have carbs like rice, chapatis. I mean, the mind says, don't eat, you don't eat. So I think that is a lesson which we all need to learn, that you can always fast for 24 hours, not a big deal at all. If you ask me, in India, there are so many people, starving out of compulsion. I mean, let me be very honest in saying that there are children who starve for a couple of days and 3 days and 4 days. Look at them. So when that is because of compulsion or jabardast, they don't have food to eat. But in our term, we call it not starving, we call it as fasting. When the little children can be alive without eating anything because of lack of food for 2 days or 3 days, for our own good in the future, all of us can be without food for 24 hours. But Beer Saab says, to begin with, you only have food for 8 hours in a day and maybe 2 meals. And the best would be, if you're overweight, it could be 1 meal a day. Maybe you fast for 20 hours and then 4 hours of eating window. You can decide whatever it is. Beer Saab, how do we calculate that? Before we get on to those calculations, I would like you to look at Mr. Beer Saab when he was close to 100 or little above 100, and how does he look now? The photo where he sits on the horse, is it visible?
Yeah, close to 100 kg. It was more than 100 kg.
See the condition. Poor horse, Bir Saab. How much of strain this horse would have taken keeping you on its back. I mean, this is tremendous. Have a pity on a poor animal like horse, right? And look at Mr. Bir Saab on the right. I mean, he's looking much younger than what he was 4 years. People generally tend to add ages, but Bir Saab is one. As the year goes, you become younger and younger. Congratulations to Bir Saab. It's again a mindset. When you think it is not possible, it is possible. So what I would like to ask you, Bir Saab, is how does one calculate, or how does one come to know this is the weight that I can hold? Is there any calculation on BMI? What do you call as this minus this? How do we go about finding out am I overweight or not? Over to you, Bir Saab.
Okay. You see, there is a formula which is called BMI. Now, the BMI of 20, this is how, the bodies of different types are defined. The normal bodies are with a BMI of within 25 is considered normal. BMI of 25 to 30 is considered as overweight, and the BMI of more than 30 is called obese. And BMI more than 35, more than 40 is called morbidly obese. So, there is a formula which, anyone can Google and find out what, you just have to give your weight in kgs and your height either in inches or centimeters. The formula will calculate and tell you. For example, in my case, my BMI is about 23, and athletes have a BMI of about 17, 18, 19, because they're very lean. The amount of fat in their body is very less, and whatever weight they have, the weight is more in terms of muscles, and the fat is very less. So the ideal BMI, according to me, should be 23, 24. But in any case, it should never be more than 25. And the exact formula of BMI, I don't remember the exact formula, but anyone can Google and find out. You just have to, just say, I calculate, what is my BMI? My height is this. My, my weight is this. It'll give you the BMI. On the Google, or it'll give you a formula by which you can calculate your BMI.
So, Bir Saab, my height is 175 centimeters.
Sorry.
My height is 175 centimeters, and I used to weigh close to about 90 kilos. So is it that 175 minus 90, or what is any particular calculation like that, or because
for BMI?
People told,
No, for BMI there is a formula. I don't remember
okay, fine.
Exactly. The formula is given in the Google. Later on, I can send it. It is to do with I think weight divided by height and squared, something like that.
Okay, fine.
So I don't remember the exact, but Google gives the formula very easily. It's given there.
Okay. So people who are wanting to follow Bir Saab in reducing the weight and bringing down to the recommended weight can always contact a number 93450 76625. We will put you to Bir Saab directly. You can contact 93450 76625 and then seek his help in bringing down your weight, which is not impossible. Because when you look at something, everything seems to be impossible in the beginning, and any practices that you start for your own good, initially you have some sort of pain, and that way, unless you take the pain, you don't gain anything in your life. So initially, okay, maybe you start over 16 hours, then go on to 20, then you go on to 24. So, but do it, because this is going to help you as you get older and older. Bir Saab, this is something to do with the reversing of diabetes. This can also avoid diseases like dementia, Alzheimer, right? And it is a proved science, right? It's a proved science that this can avoid all this future diseases, like most of those who would go through this. Maybe about 60 to 70% of those old age people go through these diseases, which can be avoided by your weight loss, which you carry in excess baggage. So is it a proved science that once you are maintaining that agreed or a weight which you are supposed to hold on your body, these diseases may not really happen? or people who have been suffering from diabetes have been able to reverse? Is it a proved scientific method? You have some examples to quote for our viewers as a proof, not as a proof, as a fact which can be believed. You have some examples to quote, Birsam, on this?
Yeah. I will answer your question on Alzheimer's and dementia. Then I will answer on diabetes. But before that, there was something else you had asked earlier, which I did not complete. I just want to complete that. That fasting of 16 hours. 16 hours. Some people will think that I'm not eating for 16 hours. That is not true. Because when we eat food at dinner, normally we eat food at 8 o'clock and we eat breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning. So 12 hours, our body is already fasting. Our body is already fasting for 12 hours. So if we have to start with fasting of 16 hours, it basically means 4 hours of extra not eating food.
Absolutely.
Because 12 hours,
Absolutely.
12 hours we are already fasting. So when we tell somebody, to delay the breakfast by 4 hours, it is not such an impossible task that somebody has to do fasting of 16 hours, because that person is delaying his food only by 4 hours. So this is how the new members start with 16 hours. Once they start practicing with 16 hours, then we tell them to try 18 hours or 20 hours, and then slowly they go to 24 hours. Now, some of the members who have done this for a few days, then what happens is the body, as Kuti was saying earlier, the mind, for example, food in our body, especially, these carbs, is like an, intoxication. It's like, a cigarette smoker, he has to smoke not because body wants it. He wants to smoke because it's part of his habit. It's become his intoxication that, it's kind of an addiction. It's like an addiction that he has to smoke. Similarly, when we eat roti and this, our body keeps on demanding it and we keep on feeding it. It's more of an addiction. As far as our body is concerned, we don't need any food which gives glucose or energy or fuel. Our foods that we need are only, vitamins and minerals and little bit of proteins. This is what our body needs. But if you don't eat foods like carbs, which have predominantly glucose making foods, these foods are not required, because this energy we want to take from the fat to make it thin. But the foods that we need to eat more during the eating window is vegetables, the vitamins which come from vegetables, and dry fruits, some fruits, and some proteins. And these proteins can come from dals and beans, and those who have milk products, it can come from paneer, and those who have non-veg, it can come from non-veg meats. So but what we need to do is, somebody has to lose his weight. So the trick is to cut down on foods with grainy carbs or anaj, and then to increase the fasting window, and slowly the mind gets used to it. And after 24 hours, there is a chemical called ghrelin. So that comes down. So our appetite comes down. Some of the people, like I have done 5 days of fasting. After 24 hours, you don't feel hungry. That body doesn't need more food. So you find it very easy to go to day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. You don't even feel that you are fasting. It becomes so easy, So, so when the new member join, initially we take them through the route of 16 hours, 18 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours. Within a week or 10 days, they start going from 24 hours to 36 hours and 48 hours. And they do it very comfortably. Almost every member does it very easily, and they lose weight. So this is one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The second question.
The second question. You can answer
about, that. About Alzheimer's and dementia. So you see, when we are fasting, which is the autophagy process, and this is the topic on which the Nobel scientist, he got the prize for this. Now during this process, what is Alzheimer's and what is dementia? This is deposition of some extra proteins inside our brain. Our brain gets deposits of proteins. So when we are fasting, and the extra proteins will be eaten up, so those proteins also will be eaten up, and your brain actually from inside is getting cleaned up, because as long as those proteins were depositing, they were slowing down the brain. But when you are fasting once a week and all that, so during the process, your brain is getting clean from inside. So your brain will function more clearly. You'll be, you will have a greater speed. Your memory will be for a longer period, and you can prevent Alzheimer's and you can prevent dementia. There is enough evidence on this. I mean, it has. The Nobel scientist, his prize itself was on a topic like this.
Wonderful. So there is a question which, of course, you have answered. One of the questions which has appeared is, when person not used to fasting, how to start? I think you did mention that.
I think I have just now answered.
Yeah, you touched that point.
If a person, okay, if a person has difficult, first of all, if a person, sometimes those who say, first of all, 12 hours fasting everyone does by sleeping. I mean, we have food at dinner at 8 o'clock and breakfast. So 12 hours is almost like, by counting, we can count it like 12 hours of fasting, but there is no effort in this fasting. Now, if somebody struggles to do fasting for 16 hours, that person can start with 14 hours. That means delay your breakfast by 2 hours or prepone your dinner by 2 hours. But we have to link it with the 12 hours of fasting period already, natural fasting period when we are sleeping. So you delay your breakfast by 2 hours or have dinner early by 2 hours. That means you can start with 14 hours, make it 15, make it 16. So if you go gradually like this, I have seen everyone, and within about 4, 5, 6 days, our natural hunger, the addiction we have for food will keep coming down. Your body will also not demand food the way it's demanding now. After you've done fasting for 7 days and 10 days, most of the people say, sir, nowadays I don't even feel so much hungry. So because you don't feel hungry, you don't eat so much and you don't put on weight, and you find it easier to fast. So I think I have answered your question.
Yeah, wonderful. I think the person who has asked me, it's an anonymous one, but I'm sure after hearing to what Bir Saab has mentioned, you would start your fasting from today, not from tomorrow. The second question, Bir Saab, is will it be okay for a diabetes patient to follow autophagy?
Yeah.
What is your call on that?
Nowadays, there are many doctors who believe, and even in our group at AFK Academy, we have a group of about 15 people who are all diabetes. Now, the diabetes can be reversed by cutting down on the food which produces glucose, and by fasting for a certain period. I will tell you how much. And by doing like this, the body, has, with the diabetes people have a problem which is called insulin resistance. That means either the body is not producing insulin, or even if the insulin is produced, it's not opening up the gate of the cell for the glucose to go inside the cell. It's called insulin resistance. Now, this mechanism is disturbed because the cells inside the cell are full of fat. There is extra fat lying inside that. So how to, deal with this? We tell these diabetes people, they start with fasting of, we start them with 14 hours or 15 hours and 16 hours, which is not very difficult. 12 hours plus another 2-3 hours. Basically, we have to cut down their level of sugar in the body. Because what happens is, if there is extra sugar and the insulin is not letting that sugar combine and convert into energy, so the body's sugar level will go up, and then there'll be symptoms of very high blood sugar. So therefore, when we are making the person fast, and secondly, we cut down on their carbs. So what happens is, rather than letting the patient eat more food with sugar and then giving insulin injections, trying to manage it, we try to cut down on, by eating itself, cut down the food which has carbs. So cut down the food with carbs, your sugar level will come down. Okay. And then certain amount of exercise that will burn the fat inside the cell. When the fat inside the cell is burned, the natural insulin, which is already there in the body, that will open the door for the blood glucose to come in. So when the blood glucose goes into the cell, the sugar level will come down. So we don't really need, all the patients who are in our group who are doing this diabetes management. It takes 2 or 3 months. There are some members who joined us within the first 1 month. The blood sugar started coming down. Once it comes down, their own doctor told them to cut down the medicine by 25% or 50% or something. So within 2 or 3 months, in some of the cases, the medicine has been cut down by 100%. Some people were taking insulin injections for the last 10 years and 15 years, and they have now completely stopped. So I have just now explained to you the mechanism by which this can be done. One is cut down the food which has, glucose making, which is either sugar and carbs. And second is a certain amount of fasting. We don't tell them to do fasting of 24 hours, 48 hours. Diabetes people, we never tell them to go be more than 16 hours. At the most, they can do 16 or 18 or 20, as long as the blood sugar is within 100 and doesn't go below 100, they can do fast. I mean, blood sugar up to 100 or even 95 is safe. Otherwise what happens is, if they keep on eating their medicine and they keep on fasting, then the blood sugar will go to a very low level, and that will be very dangerous.
Wonderful. So I think suggested by Bir Saab that it is always better for you not to fast beyond 22 hours in a day. Maybe start with 16 hours a day and then move on to 20. It's called, and you can have 1 meal a day, or it's called something called warrior fasting or something like that. So I think that would be the best way to start off. And my suggestion would be that before you start your fasting, please do consult your doctor. So my last question would be, Bir Saab, it has been suggested by anyone for that matter that we all go for maybe 5 kilometers a day jogging or walking. We do a lot of exercises, and how does that also can put down your weight, right? And dieting also can put down your weight. And you now say fasting, intermittent fasting also can put down your weight. So now how does it differ through putting down your weight on intermittent fasting and putting down your weight through maybe 5 kilometers, maybe 1 hour you cover 5 kilometers, walking a day and intermittent fasting? How much would be, in your opinion, that if I walk for 5 kilometers a day, I will drop by so much? If I fast for, let's say, 24 hours or maybe 2 days, how much will I drop? Just a comparison, if you have the study results with you. Over to Mr. Bir Saab.
Okay. See, first of all, we tell, by fasting you can lose weight, but that does not mean we should not do exercise. Exercise is required for burning the calories as well as for toning the muscles. The muscles also need exercise. So exercise is important. So we normally recommend 1 hour is a very good exercise, but minimum 45 minutes of exercise. The easiest exercise to do is walking, but those who can do a little bit of resistance training, with gymnasium or even yoga, so those exercises are better. So first of all, exercise is important. Whether you are fasting or not fasting, exercise is very important. The second thing you said is some of these numbers. See, you need to burn 8,000 calories to lose 1 kg of weight. 8,000 calories. Okay.
8,000 calories for 1 kg.
For losing 1 kg weight. Now, if you walk for let's say 1 hour every day, depending upon the height of the person, an average person can burn 250 to 300 calories. For the time being, let me say 250 calories per day. So 250 calories in 30 days is approximately 8,000 calories. So if a person walks for 1 hour every day for 30 days with the same food, he will lose 1 kg weight. Okay. Whereas if you do fasting, 1 full day fasting of 24 hours, you can lose 500 grams. And if you do 2 days of complete fasting, you can lose 1 kg weight. So what I'm saying is, what you can achieve through fasting in 2 days is equal to what you have to walk for 30 days. Okay. So fasting is a faster way of fat loss. The reason is that you're not eating food and your body is running on the food from your fat, the energy from the fat. So the numbers may not be exactly 500 grams per day. It varies. It can be 300 grams, 400 grams, 500 grams. So if you want to lose 1 kg, you may require fasting of 2 days or 3 days, at the most 4 days. 2 to 3 days, maybe 4 days. But if you are walking, you have to walk for 1 hour for 30 days to lose 1 kg weight. So this is an approximate. So indirectly, you can say whatever weight you will lose by exercise is approximately 15% of the weight, compared to fasting. If you lose weight by fasting, so it's about 85%. If you do it by exercise, it's about 15%. So the importance of exercise, let's say, is 15%. The importance of fasting is 85% in terms of numbers. But according to me, exercise should never be given up. We must do exercise minimum 45 minutes to 1 hour every day.
Absolutely. Birsab, you rightly said that, especially for the viewers, that if you walk for a whole month, maybe 1 hour, which would cover 4 to 5 kilometers, you are losing 1 kg. But then if you fast for 24 to 48 hours, you would probably lose 1 kg approximately. So this would be my questions, but then all that begins well have to end well. So we have Swamiji back to ask a few questions, maybe a couple of questions, whatever he has in his mind, having heard you for almost 45 minutes. Now over to Swamiji to give us concluding questions to Birsab. Over to you, Swamiji.
Sir, generally, the concept of fasting is not that well accepted by the current generation, because everybody feels that or they believe that they cannot skip breakfast. They are not supposed to skip breakfast. But at the same time, as you rightly told, at some age, we can easily control the issue with the problems arising with diabetes and blood pressure and things like that. It is definitely possible to control these with the help of diet, just diet, without even depending on the medicine. I have experienced, not of course not my own body, but my parents, in fact, they are now in 80s. Though they are diabetic patients, they are not at all taking any sort of medicines now. They just follow a diet which they have been following for past several years, and they are completely healthy without any issues, and they are able to work well. So how is it a misconception that dieting or a proper diet or fasting, is it seen as a misconception?
No, you see, as far as the older people is concerned, their bodies were used to, the bodies and the muscles were used to more exercise, more walking, so they had a much better metabolism. And so therefore the body could digest the food without having to convert this into fat. Whereas the new generation, the amount of exercise you do, they lead a very sedentary life, sitting all the time, sitting in a car, sitting in the office. So the exercise, and so therefore the metabolism rate has gone to a very low level. So therefore there is a tendency to put on more weight. Secondly, the availability of food. Once upon a time, there were no refrigerators. I'm about 20, 30, I'm talking about your parents. About 30, 40, 50 years ago, there were no refrigerators. They used to cook fresh food for lunch and dinner and eat, and certain amount, and that's it. But here nowadays, our fridge is full with starting from beer to all kinds of eatables, ice creams, soft drinks, Coke and all that, and ice creams and desserts. So you keep eating the whole day. So on one hand, you don't burn energy. On the other hand, you eat so much. And look at the statistics. In the US has one of the highest rates of obesity. People are becoming very fat.
Yeah.
Whereas there are countries like China and Japan where the USA has developed a culture of drinking soft drinks and fast food. Fast food is all full of junk food, which is this thing. Whereas Japanese eat very small amount of food, and that also fish and all that. So Japanese, and to that extent even Chinese, are relatively thinner compared to Americans who keep, and Americans keep eating the whole day. Fast food means you can eat anytime. You can order pizza or hamburger or something. So every 2-3 hours.
So what happened? I think, yeah. Veer Saab, your voice, yes. Veer Saab, we are not hearing you. We are not hearing you. What happened? Are you on mute? Veer Saab?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, okay, fine. Now we are able to hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, in between there it had frozen. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Swamiji, any other questions or?
Yeah, in fact, sir, the primary problem which I have seen again is to start. Basically, it is a starting trouble among anybody, irrespective of the generation. There is a starting trouble to observe fasting, and people have a kind of fear whether the physical body will fell down, and falling down may create, or in case if they are unable to adjust with the hunger and the fasting, that mindset, that might create more trouble. So what is the solution for that, and what is your advice for the people who feel that there is a starting trouble?
Okay. See, first of all, it is a misconception that by fasting the body is becoming weak or the body can fall down. It is not true. I have done 5 days of fasting. On the fifth day, I have gone for 7, 8, or 9 or 10-kilometer walk and come back and felt absolutely normal. As I told you, unless you do this, you will not know. If you do this fasting for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, you yourself will find that you're full of energy. This is one. Second, why is it that the body is so energetic? The ketosis means now you see the energy that you get by the normal food, which is blood sugar, and blood sugar comes from food. Food, blood sugar, this is an old system. Fat giving energy is the new, during the fasting period. Now, during the fasting period, not only fat gives energy in the form of glucose and glycogen, it also produces ketones. That's why it's called ketosis. Ketosis. It produces ketones. Ketones is a very special, good category of energy, which is very good for the brains. So, the brain feels very good, and the whole body also feels more energetic. I'll give you one example. There have been some studies where some of the boxers, they don't eat in the last 24 hours because they feel that after 24 hours, the peak performance comes after 24 hours or 36 hours of fasting, because the energy which will come from the fat of the body is much superior compared to the energy which is coming from the food, which is converting into blood glucose and this. So, but as you very correctly said, this is a new subject. Most of the people are still in the old school of eating 6 times a day, fast food, and all that. And therefore, I have taken up this subject because, I've gone through this. I also kept on, gaining weight. And most of my colleagues, I can tell you, I've already lost 4 or 5 of my batchmates. Some of them at the age of 50, some at the age of 60. I'm 66. Very soon I'll be 67. I look much younger compared to all my other batchmates. So therefore, it's very evident that fasting has many advantages, as I told you, autophagy, and I've explained to you the science why you get growth hormones, you get stem cells. Okay, in my own case, my hair are better, my skin is better. I had a problem of arthritis. I could not walk even 100 meters, and because of the stem cells, this body produces stem cells. Now I can walk 6, 7, 8 kilometers, no medicines. I can walk 6, 7, 8 kilometers. So there are so many, advantages in fasting. I have some videos and, some literature which I can, I can send it to Kurti Garu, and Kurti can share it with all of you. But this is a subject we have to go into it. That is why I have created this group called AFK Academy, because I want more and more people to join us. And there are many people who are joining and learning about this. I'm not the only one. There are many other people doing this in the world. But a time has to come that if we manage and eat the right food, we will never have diabetes. Diabetes can be managed. Diabetes is caused more by eating irregular hours of food and more of fast foods.
So I think Swamiji well explained. Any further question on this, Swamiji?
Yeah, there's one more thing, sir. What I have observed is, see, I have also tried with the fasting, tried with one-time meal, even tried with two-time meal. And in fact, the best from the yogic text, what we have seen is that the meals taken at 11 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the evening that is enough. Basically, there is absolutely no need to take any other food in between. Absolutely. The problem is that
that's right. If you eat your food within 4 to 5 hours, it's good enough. You don't have to eat 24 hours.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, and second thing is, sir, the problem, the current prevailing problem is why personally I would also recommend fasting or dieting, or at least once in a week fasting is we are getting adulterated food. Basically, we are accumulating toxins in the body and blood, and the only way to get rid of it is not medicine but fasting. Fasting, or even when you say that the dieting and the exercise, the physical exercise, that alone is enough to keep you away from the medicines. Am I right, sir?
That's right. During the fasting period, or we call it the autophagy, the body is cleaning itself. Cleaning itself means getting rid of all the unnecessary materials, which includes the toxins you just now talked about. Exactly. So, if we are not eating for 24 hours, those 24 hours our body is healing, means it's getting rid of the toxins. That's called healing, So you have very correctly said this. I just want to add one or two sentences before we end. During the autophagy process, when the body is cleaning itself and the cells are becoming healthier, the immune system in the body is becoming stronger. Now this immune system, when it becomes stronger, for example, even this, corona disease, those who are fasting have a much better immune system compared to the other ones who are not been fasting. And, those who are diabetes, they have the highest chance of, succumbing, because, it's been proven, as we said at the beginning, those who have diabetes are on the other side. They are very vulnerable. And those who are fasting, in a way, they have already created a natural immune system in the body itself. And there is a video, explained by a lady doctor called Dr. Mindy Pelz. Maybe we can share it with some people. That doctor has explained very nicely the question that you have just now asked.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Just I think maybe one more thing is that once we start doing this only, we will gain confidence.
That's right. And if in case anyone wants any help, we run our Facebook group called AFK, Academy. Anyone can join, and there is a lot of discussion on that group. AFK Academy. So many people ask questions, and so many people answer questions. We also answer the questions. So we are trying to popularize the idea, the benefits of fasting, and and we have 150 people in our group. They have, some people have lost 10 kg, 15 kg. So Kutti Garu himself has lost, I don't know, 15 kg or something.
Yes.
I mean, I can say if he had not reduced his weight, he has increased his life by 10, 20, 30, 40 years. I don't know how many years.
Oh my God. So there are some few more questions which normal advice by all doctors is that we should not miss morning tiffin, and this is conflicting with the 16 hours fasting. So you need to decide whether you must go into intermittent fasting or listen to your doctor. So I think the choice is yours, but there are many who have benefited out of not skipping a breakfast, delaying a breakfast by about 4 hours. So that has benefited. So Samundeshwari madam, you can't have the cake and eat it too. Either you have the cake or eat it. So that would be the answer from my side for want of time. How many days should we follow 12 hours fasting before 16 hours? There's no 12 hours fasting. I would suggest that you all go in for 16 hours fasting to start on, and you see the weight loss on a daily basis. and then move on to maybe 18 hours to 20, 24 to 48, whichever is comfortable and convenient for you. And the next question is, can we take water during fasting? Absolutely. You are free to take water. You can mix lemon and little bit of salt, and that would energize you. So you are allowed to take water with lemon water, what do you call
You can also have tea and coffee.
Yeah, you can also have tea, and, coffee.
Don't have any
sugar
food
and
with
without
calories.
milk.
Don't have any food with calories.
Yeah.
You
Will
know,
this
lemon
video be
with water is
available?
okay.
Yeah, will this video be available for future viewing? I missed first 15 minutes. Of course, you can contact 9345076625, and we'll send you the link for you to watch the missed part of this video. Please suggest books on the subject, sir. Please contact again the same number 9345076625. Bir sir will send all those details to us and we'll pass it on to you. No issues. Thank you for the wonderful session. Divya has been kind enough to mention. I would like to know one thing about intermittent fasting. Is there any way we can make sure that we have the necessary vitamins and nutrients in the food we eat during our eating window? So a suggestion, Bir Sahab, you are a veteran in that. Could you just recommend to Divya what are the necessary vitamins and nutrients in the food? Over to you.
During the eating window, eat sufficient quantity of salads. The salad should also contain sprouts. Sprouts have all the vitamins and they also have proteins. So eat sufficient quantity of salads, and then have, you must eat cooked vegetable, some dal, and then some, we recommend eating at least two, walnuts, akhrot, 2 walnuts every day, and 5 or 6 badam. So, the vegetables, salad form and cooked form will give all the vitamins. The dry fruits also will give the vitamins and minerals, okay? The dals and beans and paneer, and for the non-vegetarian people, the meats, that will give the proteins. And the vegetables and salad and the cooked vegetables, they give all the vitamins. All the vitamins are available.
So Bir Sahab, I think it has been a wonderful time, but then as you rightly said, the proof of the pudding is in eating. And let me also tell you that I used to suffer a bit with my sugar in the year 2019. And here is the report on my sugar in 2019. It was 6/6/2019. You can watch this report from COVID Diagnosis Center. Please watch my sugar, right?
I saw the report.
I want the view.
Normal. Once upon, the older report, it was.
Yeah, this is the older report.
Or 200 or something.
Yeah, 109, so 259. So I wanted to see the latest report. I started on intermittent fasting, maybe March end or something like that. And the current report is, this is the proof. You can have a look at that, and then I'm going to close my show. Right, this is the current report. Right, can I have...
this is the report of a 30-40-year-old young man. This report
30-40-year-old.
100% normal, of a, very young, normal, healthy boy.
Yeah, absolutely. So, can you pull it a little more? Yeah, I'll pull it and show you. This is the current report. I'm totally normal now. And I have, here is the report, which was taken on 9/6/2020. So it is all 83 against 60, 110, 119 against 110, 500, 160, I'm sorry. So everything is normal. I've stopped taking medicines. And, I used to use this Astalin inhaler from my college days. And today, and I used to spend about 140 rupees every 3 or 4 days. For the last 2 to 3 months, I'm not even used Astalin for one single time. Even if I get on to 2 stairs or 3 stories, I get this breathlessness. Today I go up to 6th or 7th floor without breathlessness. So the proof of the pudding is in eating, my dear viewers here. And look, you can look at me, how handsome I am when I was earlier with overweight. Can I have the photographs on, please? I want you to see my weight was almost 94 kilos in 2019. Right? In 2019, I was about 94 kilos. And today, I think this is my photograph. Look at me with 94 kilos. Then before I started, I was around 89.1. That was in March. And in the month of May, I was 77.7. And the current weight is 74.6. Right? I had to spend a lot of money on buying some new dresses for me. Beer Saab, you'll have to spare some 50% of my expenses because this is something, and I'm so happy regarding that AFK Academy. So the proof is on it. I mean, eating. So unless you visualize yourself what you are and what you are today, I think you will not take on to intermittent fasting. So decide.
You have been a very good role model for fasting and fantastic transformation.
Absolutely, you're the role model for me, and I'm sure that many of us who have been watching. And there is one more question from Swamiji. He will not leave you till he clears all the doubt. And this is going to be 1 trillion, not even 1 million, 1 billion, $1 trillion question to Mr. Beer Saab. Over to you, Swamiji.
I have one suggestion, and the second is the question. The first thing is what he showed now. I used to travel. We both used to travel. And I have seen him, working hard for so many things, and the health was not that good. But now he is just like a boy running around the campus. And see, the one of the important things, especially during this pandemic season, is we all watch TVs, we all watch movies on all entertainment, and we just keep, eating junk food. Keep on eating junk food. So that with that there is no exercise at all. And for you, sir, suppose if you have a key role in playing with the health of the younger generation, what will be your take, or what will be your rule, or what I should say that what will you impose on the younger generation to make sure that they are healthy, physically fit? So what is your take on that?
They have to understand the importance of not being obese. So how to control the weight right from the beginning, from the age of 20, 21, 22, 24. The second is, even if they are, they start becoming obese, they should know how to get rid of the weight. So whatever I have explained, in some form, it should become available to them. So as somebody said, there are some videos which I have shared with, Kuti. Maybe he can share with many other members. Those videos explain step by step and in a very scientific manner what is the advantage. Why fasting has to be done. So basically, if you tell somebody to do this, it's not going to happen. But once, like Kuti himself has understood why he has to do it, once people understand why fasting is necessary, then they will do it. So the importance of why we should get rid of the extra weight, the extra fat. Otherwise, we will get all the diseases in our body. And second is, even if we have extra weight, how to get rid of it. So this will come by knowledge and by learning. So this subject should be discussed more often. And whatever are the videos, and there are some books. There is a book called Obesity Code by Dr. Jason Fung. I can share some of these names. So they should be very concerned about this topic, and they should be they should devote some time on this subject. Okay. Learning is more important than just practicing. Blind practicing will not lead to anything. Learning why it is necessary. So that is very important. So somebody has to do this.
Beer Saab, Swamiji, may I, with your permission?
Yeah.
All right. So I think the God has really done a slight mistake in making you an engineer from IIT Delhi. He should have made you a doctor, and certainly that would have helped many of us much more than what it's helping all of us today. So for viewers who have been tuned in till the last, health is certainly wealth. And I'm sure in the current situation, because of COVID, the lesser the weight you are, I think the better you become immune to it. So, Beer Saab,
Thank you very much. I enjoyed this session. Thank you very much.
Big talk ke liye aaye aapne, let us all pray to the Almighty that Mr. Beer Saab and the entire family lives a healthy, wealthy life in the future. And this is not Medal Krish. This is Kutigaru signing off from the headquarters of Vetimadai, Amartya Vishwavidyapitham. So
Thank
till
you,
we
thank
meet again, please let's all jointly say Jai Hind.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.